Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. Today we're in Morristown at Atlantic Health System Goryeb Children's Hospital, a place that provides exceptional care and lifelong support for families. We're here to learn about Johnny's Closet, a special program offering comfort and resources to families in need. We'll also speak with the team at the Valerie Center and the Kinney family, who started Johnny's Closet in honor of their son. Let's see how Goryeb makes every family feel like family for life. So obviously, something very terrible brought you here to Atlantic Health System's Goryeb Children's Hospital. Tell us what happened.
So back in 2020, Johnny was diagnosed with a very rare form of bone cancer called osteosarcoma. And we were connected with one of the doctors here, Dr. Halpern originally, who is the lead in his field for that, and worked on his type of cancer because it was so rare. And we were also connected with Dr. Whitting, who works out of this hospital, who was the #1 surgeon in his field who would be able to handle where the cancer was located, which was in Johnny's femur. So that's how we came here and connected with everyone.
And describe your stays here and just the lifelong friendships you made.
So coming here, I feel like it was different from any other hospital because we did travel to a couple different hospitals in our 2+ year journey throughout his cancer diagnosis and everything. This hospital is so much different and so special compared to other ones. Like, you're not just a number on a folder to this hospital. Like, you are a person. Like, they take the time to get to know you. They, know your ins and outs, your quirks, like your personality, and be able to, help you through everything. They really did become a family here for us. Johnny's treatment plan was very, very rigorous. Like, we were here for weeks on end sometimes. Like, we would never really be here for just a day. His treatment plans would be, a week's stay, and then we'd go home for 2 days, and then you'd be back for 2 weeks, and then we'd go home for a couple days and be back for another week. Like, it was, we spent a lot of time here. They basically became like our second family and still are now.
Johnny was such a special kid. I think everyone who took care of him felt very close to him. I think he was that kind of person where he just had that personality that connected him to other people very easily. I took care of him during his relapse period of treatment mainly, and so he and his family were going through a lot of hard times, obviously a lot of tough decisions and tough physical and mental challenges. And I think that what always struck me about his whole family were how close they were and how well they navigated with such grace and maturity on his part a lot of tough things. And I think on the flip side of that is that you could be having a really, a very serious conversation with Johnny, and then he would digest what you said and think about it and talk about it, and then 10 seconds later would say, okay, so can I get a tattoo today? And I think that he was able to kind of strike that balance for almost his entirety of treatment. And that was he was a very special kid.
I had taken care of Johnny since his initial diagnosis. He finished therapy and he relapsed, and through that relapse treatment as well. So I knew him for several years, and over those years, he was always, as Dr. Laurie had said, a special kid, but he had a maturity far above and beyond his years, but also a wit about him that was very special. And you could present him with many difficult, whether it was choices or things we were going to do, and he always spun it into something that he could handle and or give you a little bit back, a little sass or a little wit that made it special. So again, he really and his family plowed through this with so much energy and determination and closeness that really they worked through his diagnosis and his treatment really as a cohesive family. It was very impressive.
So I was one of the many nurses that helped take care of him. I did his medications, his chemotherapies. I tried to make his stays here fun. Like Kristin said, we used to tag team against each other. Me and Johnny versus Kristin, Kristin and Johnny versus me.
A lot of pranks.
Pranks, syringe flush fights.
Yes.
Yeah.
I worked with Johnny quite a bit when he was here, when he was inpatient. I was his child life specialist, one of his child life specialists. So I would help to support him while he was here. I would help to normalize his experience. You could always find us playing games, playing tricks on each other, playing tricks on other people, especially Ava.
Yeah.
So we really spent a lot of time while he was here in the hospital, and again, really just tried to normalize his experiences while he was here.
So with Johnny's Closet, how did that idea come to be?
So, like I mentioned before, we would spend countless hours and days and weeks here. And, when he had his one leg surgery, we were actually here for almost a month. And sometimes we would come in for visits expecting to only be here a couple of hours, but his blood work would come back and require us to stay longer. Or we'd come in for a visit and he would become ill and one of us would require a change of clothing or something like that. And unfortunately, the hospital doesn't stock clothing for patients, which no hospital really does. But, as a kid coming in, first of all, you don't want to be here as a kid anyway, and coming in, you don't want to put on a hospital gown. You want to be comfy and everything. So that's where the idea came to me after spending time here. And even though I would always meticulously pack for, anything that would come up, there's times where I just, didn't remember to or something. So that's where the inspiration came to me from, that sometimes the unexpected happens and I want people to be able to come in here, and if the unexpected does happen for them, I want them to be able to be comfortable and have a change of clothes and go, be able to go into the closet and pick something out that's comfy and not just a hospital gown for you.
The initial vision, does it match what you had in mind?
Actually, initially it was I had spoken to one of the child life people and I'm like, hey, can we just keep a couple of clothing things here? Maybe a couple of sweatshirts or some sweatpants or something, some nice comfy socks, big fuzzy ones, not the ugly hospital ones with the rubber things on the bottom. And it completely evolved from there. I just kept going with my idea and I'm I had it in my head and I just ran with it and they let me do it. So now it evolved from just, a couple things and just a couple sizes to now it's a fully stocked closet with every size from infant to adult and in every item. You can get anything from socks to sweatshirts to underwear, pants, pajamas, anything.
It's been a wonderful addition to pediatrics here, and I think what we have seen with Johnny and many other kids is, oftentimes when these kids are admitted, we don't strip them of their normal, whatever it is, clothing, or, if they're into gaming or whatever, we want to maintain their individuality. And I think a lot of times when kids come in, they're not prepared. Sometimes you come into the hospital unprepared, or it's an emergency, it's important that we can give to children things that are express themselves as well. Johnny's Closet has allowed us to give clothing, pajamas, things needed for some of these children that are hospitalized that do not have or were not prepared to be here for.
The fact that there's something to kind of back up these families when, again, this is always unexpected. No one ever thinks they're going to be walking this walk and having to be in the hospital, whether it's oncology or whether it's any reason for any child. And so I think when kids don't have to feel like they are in the hospital gown and they're playing this role, but in fact they can stay in regular clothes, anything that can allow them that connection, I think makes them mentally feel better being here.
Johnny's Closet is such a valuable resource that we never knew we needed until we actually had it. So the Kinney family came up with the concept of Johnny's Closet after really recognizing a need for when he was here in the hospital. A lot of times he would come in and he would need a change of clothes either due to not feeling well or a number of reasons. So this it came about to really help the children that need a change of clothes have a clean pair of pajamas to put on or a new pair of underwear to put on while they're here in the hospital. And it's really meant so much to the families and to the patients to have that.
We're trying to make these kids as comfortable as possible when they're staying here, whether it be like a night, a week, and sometimes just being in like their own clothes or clothes they're comfortable in is just half of the battle. No one anticipates their child being admitted or staying for like an extended period of time sometimes, so they don't necessarily always pack accordingly, and they may not have the resources to go run home because they can't leave the child or don't want to leave the child. So like giving them that too is like just takes a lot of burden off the parents as well. It's like helpful to the whole family.
So since Johnny's closet has been opened, can you share a memorable experience where it's really made an impact on a family?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a patient here a little while ago who, due to their diagnosis, they were sweating through a lot of their clothing, and the parent wasn't able to go home and get extra pairs of clothes. So somebody brought the mom over to Johnny's closet and showed her that we had extra underwear, extra socks, extra pajamas. And she actually, this child was a huge fan of dinosaurs, and she found a pajama set with dinosaurs on it. And the mother was so appreciative and so grateful that she just started crying. And it was just such a special moment to kind of see what an impact it made on that family.
I love that. How about you?
Yeah, similar to that, there's been a couple families that like have come from like out of state because they just didn't anticipate their kids getting admitted. So then they were here getting treatment and stuff. And then even like from IV sticks, lab sticks, they get stuff on their clothing. And the kids were upset they didn't want to be in a gown. So we were able to bring them over to the closet to pick something out. And it just made everything so much better.
Obviously, Johnny hasn't been here in a couple years, but you're still so connected. Mm-hmm. And you have that connection with so many of your families. Why is that important for you to just keep that forever?
Yeah. It's one of the perks of this job is making those connections and really getting to know the families and the children. So with the Kinney family, I've been in touch with Gayle, and she kind of came to us with this beautiful, wonderful idea of Johnny's closet, and we've been working on it ever since. And I do look forward to continuing that partnership with her and that relationship with her to keep going with Johnny's closet to honor Johnny.
Nothing has ever been handed to me. I've had to work for it. On the field and off the field. Kane worked with me, guided me, helped me climb higher, to get where I belong, to change my life.
Hey, welcome to the team.
Cougars climb higher, Kane University.
Talk to us about what the Valerie Center does.
So we are a pediatric hematology and oncology center. So we take care of kids with both oncology or cancer diagnoses, as well as many chronic and acute blood disorders. So that's kids with sickle cell, thalassemia, and those kind of things. But really the Valerie Center, I think the spirit of it is that we give the same kind of comprehensive, collaborative care that you would find at any other larger hospital, but we're able to allow our children and our families to stay close to home, which is such an important part of when your life has been kind of thrown onto this roller coaster of an oncology diagnosis. To be able to feel normal and maintain that normalcy, I think matters a lot to families, and I think that really is our sort of underlying goal and how we go about everything. And so when you get a diagnosis like this, there are so many ripple effects of this: the siblings, your school, the child's school, the parents' work. And so I almost feel like I'm the least important person on the team, and I mean that genuinely, because we have social workers, we have neuropsychologists, we have educational liaisons who catch all the other parts that get affected in a child and a family's life when they're dealing with this. And I think that the Valerie Center has done a very thoughtful job in saying, okay, we need a social worker. Okay, but what about this thing that gets affected? Okay, we need someone who can help us navigate the school system. And so I think that really is sort of the spirit of our group. is that sort of comprehensive care for families.
How does the Valerie Center work in conjunction with Goryeb Children's Hospital?
Well, they have been very helpful in developing the program, of course. And to add to what Dr. Laurie said, I think what's really been important as the years have gone by, how they've addressed not just obviously the medical piece of treating a child with cancer, but the developmental and the emotional and all those factors that are important to a child, his family, and development, so that, developmentally, these children should still go back to school and be part of their social, sphere. And as a result, we have Child Life to help them do that. We have social workers and child psychologists, as well as a school liaison program. So that's just like one area that is a part of a child's life. And I think we addressed, and we still address many parts of their lives outside just the medical piece, because they are still a child, and their work, their job is to be a child, learn, play, go to school. And that's what I think we foster.
And there are other programs too that the hospital incorporates to help these kids feel better, especially while staying here. I've seen dogs come through, New York Jets come through.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that aspect.
Yeah, I think when you are a child in the hospital, you're somewhere you shouldn't be, right? Children should be at school, outside. And so I think, you wake up in the morning and the thought is, how do you fill that day? Sometimes kids don't have procedures. They're here just getting medicine. And so knowing that, hey, everyone's meeting in the atrium to do a craft together at 12, and the dogs are coming today. I think we have massage therapists that come and do sort of integrative things and helpful relaxation techniques with kids. I think having those things that to look forward to not only obviously makes the time go by faster, but also kind of makes them just feel more comfortable and at ease in this kind of environment that is so foreign to them.
And it's not isolating. Being in a hospital, especially as a child, is very isolating because you're not with your peers, you're not with your family, you're not with your routine. But we have seen getting, special programs where even the pet therapy or being involved in an activity with other kids gives them a sense of belonging and socializing as they would if they were outside of this hospital environment. So it's absolutely necessary, and it's been very helpful. Emotionally, developmentally, and getting through a lot of the medical procedures that they have, that there is some sense of normalcy.
Yeah, well, I was a patient here twice.
Oh.
And I've had both my babies here. And I have to say, Morristown Hospital as a whole, all the different wings and departments, you do a great job.
But
still
awesome. Thinking about all the different things that someone might need, right? Going through that experience, and similarly in pediatrics, right? What are all the things that could help this child feel better in this moment?
Right.
Right after Johnny passed, you had the idea to form his foundation, which I love.
Well, having Maddie and Johnny were so close in age, all of us, between my husband John, Madelin, and myself, we still have a lot of grief. It's not going to go away. But we needed somewhere to channel our grief, and I wanted to make sure we found something to do that we could not only help other people, but help us to heal as well. And I wanted to make sure that she had an outlet for her to, remember her brother and to keep his name out there and to feel like he's still with us and everything. So I thought of forming the Johnny Kinney Memorial Foundation so we can help other families who are going through similar journeys and try to help them, because we went through it firsthand, and try to help them, prepare them if something like this is going to happen, or just get them through, just everyday scenarios that might pop up for them, and be able to be a comfort to them, and also provide financial support if that's something they need as well.
And you had such support from the community. We both live in East Hanover. We both went to high school together. We were the Hanover Park Hornets. Literally, we were the Hornets. And the town just wrapped you up in so much love still to this day.
Yeah, it was great. The community really did come together. It's funny, our mayor always said that we are a dysfunctional town, but we come together when it matters. And it's true. We had an amazing support system. We had, Johnny was wheelchair bound for almost 2 years, and we had the East Hanover Police Department come in, and they paid to have a ramp put in for him, so to get him in and out of our house because we had a lot of stairs. We had somebody donate a chair lift for us within our house, and just, you know, people will constantly drop off meals or, you know, just get well cards or something, and just, you know, for all of us, for Maddie, like everyone was just always there for us and just making sure that we knew that we were supported.
We're doing this inside the Calling All Kids studio where he spent a lot of time.
He did. The hospital does every Thursday, they do bingo at 1 o'clock, and it's a live bingo that you watch on TV. So all the kids who are here, you get a bingo card and you have a phone and a number to call and everything. And if you get bingo, you call the number. And Johnny would actually be like the guest star and would come down and film the segments with Kristin, one of the child life specialists here. And, you know, they would do it together and everything. And they had so much fun doing it because he loved being able to be in front of everyone. He loved performing, and, you know, he was like he was everyone's little spotlight kid, so.
Including for Jennifer Aniston.
Yes, exactly. His favorite.
His favorite. Tell us about that.
So Johnny and I would actually watch TV shows. We would find something to watch, like usually make sure that they were long shows because we were up all the time. So we would find shows to watch, and we stumbled upon Friends, which I had never watched when I was younger.
Really?
Never watched. I never had an interest in watching it. I don't know why.
I'm shocked right now.
I know. I don't know why. But we started watching it, and Johnny fell in love with Jennifer Aniston because he always loved, you know, hot women and everything. So he fell in love with her and made it his mission to somehow meet her. His dream was to have dinner with Jennifer Aniston. And that didn't happen, but
it was a few of us.
You entered the picture.
Yes,
and
it was a few of us, but yes.
Yeah,
I had to do it. When you posted it on Facebook, a colleague of mine, Noelle Gambino, she works for Apple TV, so I reached out to her and I said, get me Jennifer's people. And she sent me a list, because Jennifer has a lot of people, so it was a list of 20 names. So I just like went down the line until I hit on somebody. And then that video like randomly got delivered right before Christmas. And
yeah, it was a couple days before Christmas we got it.
It was
the best gift ever for him.
Hey Johnny, it's Jen. I just want to say a little bird told me that you are a huge, huge Friends fan. And that makes me so, so happy. I'm currently on the set of my new show, which I don't know if you've seen that one, but I just want to tell you, I so love you and I appreciate your admiration, and I want you to have a beautiful Christmas with your family and a gorgeous New Year. And know that I'm with you, and I'm wrapping you in my arms in a big squeeze.
How do people donate products?
So people will go out and they'll purchase items and they'll have it sent to our address, and they can donate it that way, or they'll make a donation through our foundation's website, and then we can go and purchase items on their behalf, which is usually a little easier for us because the needs are changing weekly. So, you know, one week they might run out of underwear in a certain size, and the next week they might run out of, you know, hoodies or something in a certain size. So it's easier for us to shop, but we have gotten a lot of donations, which is amazing, and we have gotten a lot of monetary donations for us to shop as well.
In what ways do you hope Johnny's closet will persevere here at the hospital?
I'm hoping it's something that stays forever. I mean, you're always going to have, unfortunately, you know, sick patients and family members who are taking care of them, and there's always going to be unexpected things that pop up. So I'm really hoping that it stays and that we can hopefully evolve it into something even more, like possibly adding like toiletries or blankets or teddy bears, and, you know, just making it bigger, like when we can and when we have the funds to do it. I think it's definitely something that there's always going to be a need for.
Yeah. And finally, how does Johnny's legacy live on through Johnny's Closet?
I think knowing that a piece of him is always going to be here, which was our second home, and with the people who cared so much for him and literally took care of him and kept him here for as long as we could have him. I think knowing that a piece of him is always going to be here is something great. You know, like he would come in here and nobody wants to be in the hospital, and especially when you know that you're terminally sick. But he came in here and he made the best of it. We have so many memories with so many of the nurses and the child life team here and so many of the doctors that, I mean, they're not all great, but they're not all bad. Like, we have so many fond memories too that came out of this. And friendships that I've made with some of the people here that are going to last a lifetime, and knowing that he'll always be a part of this hospital and that they'll remember him definitely gives us some comfort.
Johnny was literally just the funniest person alive. Like, you could be in one of the darkest times in your life, he'd just always be there for you. He could always make you laugh, even when you were in the darkest moments, he could always make you laugh. And he was just the light that ignited us, basically.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.
Nothing has ever been handed to me. I've had to work for it. On the field and off the field. Kane worked with me, guided me, helped me climb higher to get where I belong, to change my life.
Hey, welcome to the team.
Cougars climb higher. Kane University.